What up, Scouts? Welcome back to Career Speaks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I've got co-hosts for the Warriors Outsiders and the Dubs Talk podcast. So if you're new to the podcast and you appreciate career development, learning about career development, like this page, follow this page. We both really appreciate that. But Grant Liffmann, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Grant, so as the story goes, right, talking more about your love for the Warriors and then going into this idea of what you're doing now, right? Ever since you were a kid loving sports, you get this great idea of your own version of Warriors commentary and you pitch it to your lifelong friend Drew Schiller, like you mentioned. At the time it was called Warriors Fanalist, but knowing well your spirit of entrepreneurship, talk about the mentality shift that you had to go through to pursue this idea, but basically having to leave your career in acting behind, because apparently you were making strides and, finding your way and making progress in Hollywood.
Yeah, no, it's funny. As I said about you find your way, right? Everything I did leading up to it gave me the opportunity to seize the opportunity when, when it was presented in front of me. So I did business at Berkeley. My background was in business in that way. When I was in Hollywood doing that thing, a lot of people decide to do a waiter job to make money while doing this and whatever. I put myself every single time I did a new job, it was part of a production company or part of some type of the business that I was using my business acumen that I learned from school. And I developed marketing ideas, how to be a better entrepreneur, all those things to make myself better as as my own company, right? Who I am. I am my own CEO, I'm my own marketer, especially with acting and stuff. So it's funny because Drew and I just talked on the phone every single day about the Warriors. We would just talk, and that's as friends do, right? We would talk about it. And I forgot what job I was at. This time I was at an ad agency job pretty much. And that was my side thing while I was trying acting, which was, starting to go well. And I had done something that was, gradually getting better and better, but it was still a struggle. I wasn't like by any chance, like made it. And it was just a situation where you look at the marketplace, right? And now it's where the business stuff came in. I said, any new idea, what it has to be is a solution to a problem. And that's what makes something a real business idea. And what was the problem? The problem was the media and the way the Warriors were covered in this generation. This was 5-6 years ago now, was that they didn't take advantage of the digital space. There are so many digital platforms and mediums out there, but they weren't taking advantage of. These big companies had TV shows, traditional linear TV shows, where people in suits, older generation, would talk to people and kind of explain what's happening, and that's where it ended. And so we looked at what's the solution to that. Is a younger, more casual, more, peer-to-peer conversation rather than, talking to, it's talking with. And where do you take advantage of that? Well, the digital platforms, that's where the business was going. And so, I called Drew with an idea and then we worked together on it. And he was doing already sports announcing and he was doing stuff out here in the Bay Area already. And we just took a risk and put together a pitch and went to what it was Comcast at the time. They were the ones, and they eventually became NBC Sports Bay Area. And we just went to them, and it just so happened at that opportunity, they also just had a meeting amongst the brain trust that they needed to get younger and needed to go digital and those things. So it just, in that way, that was luck. That was fortunate that, but, and we were very fortunate that they took a risk on us and just said, sure,